easily influenced by the magician's magician, Daryl. Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about a very cool packety trick that came out, easily influenced by the magician's magician, Daryl. Probably wondering what it's like, so let's not waste any time. Let's get into it and talk about if you ordered easily influenced by Daryl, what you get. So you've ordered easily influenced by Daryl, and this came. So this is the packaging that you get. So it's really cool. It's a little envelope. Inside is the link to the instructions and all the information, and also you get this envelope here. So inside the envelope are the cards that you see. So I'll show you them because they show them in the trailer and you show them to spectators at the end. You get these really cool printed cards that do a lot of the work for you when you're doing the trick, as well as they just look cool. Like, they're interestingly printed. They look all over the place. They look chaotic. They look like genuinely what cards would look like if they got confused. So this is what you get, and then you can keep it inside here, or you can put it in any other envelope you want to carry around with you to make sure they stay safe. And what's really nice about it is you take them out of your pocket like this for the presentation. So all you need is a deck of cards to go with it to get the extra cards that you need. So it's just 2 cards that you need. It's a 5 of diamonds and 7 of clubs. You get them, you're ready to go. So you have them in your deck, do whatever you want to force it, and then with this, you're fine, you're ready to go. This can just be in your pocket and you can go into this at any time, which is really nice. So that's what you get, and then also you get the instructions. So let's move on and talk about them now. The instructions for easily influenced by Daryl. This is really cool because you get a performance from Daryl himself. He's performing it there, which is great. And then you get Javier comes in and he teaches you how to do it. Now, overall, the video is less than 20 minutes long, so it doesn't take long to get through, but you get all the information you need. It's fairly straightforward once you understand. You might want to go over it a few times to make sure you have the movements right and orientations and that sort of stuff. So I'm guessing most people have an idea how this trick works. When you see the cards and like with a bit of magic and sleight of hand knowledge, you'll probably have to figure it out. But you just want to make sure you have that down in your head. So watch it over a few times. It's gone through. You learn everything you need to. Javier again, great teacher. You get everything you want. Less than 20 minutes, you'll be ready to do it at that point. So the instructions, they're really good. There's no real live performances. It's kind of all studio based, which is fine. You get everything you need to from it, and then you can just go out, perform the effect. From learning it, you won't really struggle after watching the instructions, that you get everything you need to, and the quality in a studio, Murphy's Magic quality, you can't complain. So they're the instructions. So now let's talk about whether or not this is difficult. Is easily influenced by Daryl difficult? I wouldn't say it's difficult at all. It's pretty straightforward. The cards do a lot of the work for you. You do have to just do a few moves. If you need a force, they teach you a force on it, but you can mix that up if you want to whatever you want. They do the dealing force. If you know the force, you'll see it where you end up with 2 piles. You teach that where you can do it, or you could do crisscross, riffle, whatever you want, using the force 2 cards, then go into the routine. So that's fine. As long as you can do that, you're happy to go. And then there's just a couple of things where it's more the routine you just have to memorize. It's short, it's only a couple of minutes, so it's not going to be too long. It's not like something where, like routine, like Color Monty type routine, where some of them are easy enough, and then other ones you can go on a bit more. So it's a kind of like that sort of a level. So you're not in a situation where it goes on for ages, like maybe Gareth Thomas's Stand Up Monty is one that I have to go back to every now and then to refresh. But with this, within a few seconds, you'll figure it out and you'll remember, and it's logical, if that makes sense, as you're going through it. So it's not difficult. As long as you can remember what you need to do, go through it. There's no difficult sleight of hand or anything like that. It's just being able to remember what you need to do is the most difficult part of this. So now let's move on to Steve's questions. So for those of you who watch the podcast, you know my co-host Steve Spade always asks me the same questions whenever I buy new tricks. And these are the questions he has. I always have them on my phone here, so we'll go through them. The first question I always get from Steve is, will you do it? So this is something I definitely will do. I might change the presentation slightly. It's going to be more, for me, of a situation of how people can be influenced in using cards as a metaphor a lot more in my presentation. Talking about how when someone is trying to fit in with the crowd, or the leader as like the front card, that they're hiding how unique and interesting they are themselves, which is like the cards at the end. So that's kind of how I see myself using it, in kind of more of a mentalist mind magic style. where it's more of a metaphor for what I'm going to be doing rather than just a trick where cards are changing. So that's kind of where I will be using it, but I definitely will have it as a trick that I'll be doing. Are you happy with your purchase? Yes, this is incredibly cheap. I think it's like 10 or tenner. Like, I just added this into another thing I was buying, so it's definitely worth buying for that price. So I'm definitely happy with my purchase. Should Steve get one? I think this is one we've talked about this, and it's one of the things that has said he's going to pick up, because again, with his character and how he performs, it's definitely some performance angles that he can go into there. So I definitely recommend that he should get one. And is there anything else like it out there? So it's like a packet trick, but you kind of bring it into your deck. So it's not really anything else like there out there where you end up with cards all mangled and that sort of stuff. So it's easily influenced by Daryl. That's what it is. So it's not. I don't really see anything else like it out there. There are other tricks using cards and that sort of stuff, but the exact thing, no, I don't think there's anything else like it out there. So there's Steve's question. So now let's move on to frequently asked questions. The real question I've been seeing around this is kind of about the price. So it's $10. That's what I'm Penguin for. So what people I've seen been asking is, with a lot of other packet tricks and things coming out where they're like $30 and stuff, like is it good for the price? That, like, for once, the price actually seems to scare some people in another way. I think it's well worth it. There's nothing to worry about. You saw what you get. You saw the cards. It's perfect. And is it good for beginners as well, is another question I've been seeing. So yes, I definitely think this is a really good beginner trick. Someone who's coming up. It's great for professionals and for beginners because there's nothing hard in it. So it's kind of a really nice all-round trick. So the two questions are, why is it so cheap? I don't know. I think it's crazy. You get 3 cards, so I guess it's not the most expensive thing to produce, but it's perfect. The video is great. And is it good for beginners? Yes, it is. So there, the frequently asked questions. Is there anything I didn't like about Easily Influenced by Daryl? I think the only thing is something I've talked about a few times, where you get gimmick cards. I use blue decks a lot more. The gimmicks you get are red. It's not a big deal. It's something you can work around. It's fairly clear. Like, a lot of people use red cards. If you're using red cards, that's fine. It does come especially printed, so they are on red back cards. So if you are using blue cards, it would be cool to have the option. I don't know if it's a future thing or something. That's really the only negative, and it's not really a negative because you can just use a red deck, which the vast majority of people use. That's why they are printed on red decks. So that's the only thing for me. I like blue, but I'm happy to use red decks. I mix them up anyway. So it's just something I have to keep in mind, that when I'm going to be doing this, it's going to have to be with a red deck. It is something that it is cheap enough, so maybe you could peel and stick a blue back onto it if you want to, if you're good at that sort of stuff. So you could experiment with it because they are cheap, so you can buy multiples of them. So that's the only thing I didn't like, that there wasn't an option for blue deck. So now let's move on to my ranking. So for anybody who's watched one of my reviews before, you know I don't give ratings like 100%, 90%. It's nothing like that. It's where will I be using this. So this is something I will be using in a close-up situation. I will be carrying it with me. I have the whole people being influenced as like an into some of the mentalism stuff, something visual to get people's attention, and then move into more of a slower mentalism influence pieces where I see myself using it quite a bit. So I will be using it. It's going to be in my inside jacket pocket. That's all it is. It flats super flat inside your inside jacket pocket. Happy to have it there. So this is going to be a worker for me. It's not going to be an everyday carry, but for all my close-up gigs, this is going to be inside my jacket pocket. So that's my rating for Easily Influenced by Daryl. Easily Influenced by Daryl. That's it. Nice and short one this time. Went through everything. It's $10. You can't really go wrong. If you even have an inkling that you might like it or want to mess around with it, it's definitely worth picking it up. You can, another great one by Murphy's Magic. You can get this from all the great retailers out there. You should put it inside your jacket pocket at a gig. If you don't use it, you don't use it. But if you need it, it's there. But you can, I'm sure you can come up with routines with these cards. As I was saying, for mentalism or just pure magic, you can't go wrong. It's a tenner. So if you're buying other stuff, it might be worth just throwing it into your basket and get it and mess around with it. So that's it. If you have anything you'd like to see me review, comment down below, let us know, and we'll reach out and have a look for it. We might start doing some performances because that's what some people have asked for. So we're looking into that, but with this camera angle and stuff, it doesn't really work for a lot of tricks. But we see if we can shoot some stuff outside of it if we can get more time. So we are listening, and we will try and get that out for you as soon as possible. Some more of that style of reviews with a bit of performance in there as well. So if you have any other questions about it, again, comment down below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe. We've got amazing podcasts coming out every week. We've got some amazing guests coming up. Can't say who they are yet, but you don't want to, like, these are like legends in magic are there. Make sure you check out some of the old ones with interviews with like the likes of Michael Amar, Daniel Garcia, Mark Paul, Matt Johnson was just back on for a second time. So check them all out. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we see you all again next time.